So, you're thinking about becoming a certified financial planner. That's a fantastic goal. But let's be real, the official path can be a little misleading. In this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain and show you the real roadmap to success. And we're going to start with the one thing most people don't figure out until it's way too late. Let's dive in. Before we get into all the coursework and exams, we have to talk about the most critical piece of the puzzle first. This is the surprising and, frankly, kind of shocking reality of what it's like to be a new financial advisor. All right, take a good look at this number. 70%. And no, that is not a typo. 7 out of every 10 new financial advisors are out of the industry completely within just 3 years. It's a massive attrition rate, and it's something you definitely won't see on the brochures. Which, of course, begs the question, right? Why? Why would so many people invest all that time and money just to walk away from the career? And here it is. This is the secret. It is almost never because they can't pass the tests or figure out how to build a financial plan. No. The advisors who actually make it, the ones who succeed long term, they're the ones who master the real job, finding clients and keeping them happy. You know, your technical skills are just the price of admission. Your ability to build a business, that's what keeps you in the game. Okay, so once you really get that this is fundamentally a sales and business building career, the next question is pretty obvious. Is all that grind actually worth it? So let's break down the financial trade-off you'd be making. Let's talk dollars and cents. Right out of the gate, you are looking at a pretty serious upfront investment. To get the whole thing done, we're talking coursework, exam fees, all the prep materials you'll need. You should probably budget around $9,000 out of pocket. And it's not just the money, right? It's the time. We are talking about a 2 to 3 year commitment from the day you crack open the first book to the day you can finally, officially put those 3 little letters after your name. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, especially for career changers. The salary you can expect to make during that 2 or 3 year period is probably somewhere between $50,000 and $70,000. So if you're coming from an established career in, say, tech or engineering, that could be a major pay cut. But here's the payoff. Here's why you take that initial hit. This chart really shows the long-term bet you're making. You take that early pay cut, but the moment you're certified, the median starting salary jumps to over $100,000. Make it to mid-career, and you're looking at $150,000. And for the veterans, the folks with 20 plus years in the business, the median is over $300,000. This is the definition of playing the long game. All right, so if you're good with that financial trade-off, the next huge decision you have to make is how you want to build your career. Because there really isn't just one way to be a financial planner. Generally speaking, your career is going to fall into one of 3 main buckets. You could be an owner-operator. That means you're building your own business from the ground up. You could join an established firm where you're still getting clients, but with a lot more structure. Or you could go into a non-producing support role where your job is to help service existing clients, not bring in new ones. Let's just focus on the 2 main paths for a second. The owner-operator, that's the high-risk, high-reward path. Your income potential is totally uncapped because, hey, it's your business. Then you have the established firm route. This is way lower risk. They usually give you leads, support, a steady paycheck, but your income is almost always capped. It's the classic choice between stability and true ownership. Okay, so no matter which path you think is for you, you still got to get certified. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's break down the official requirements from the CFP board, what they call the 4 E's. The first E is experience. And listen, if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Tackle this E first. The CFP board requires thousands of hours of relevant work experience. So the absolute best advice anyone can give you is to get a job in the industry before you spend a single dollar on coursework. You need to find out if you actually enjoy the day-to-day work before you commit. Now, you've got 2 ways to get this experience. There's the standard path, which is 6,000 hours or about 3 years of work. But for anyone changing careers, I would highly, highly recommend the Apprenticeship Path. It's only 4,000 hours, that's just 2 years, and you have to be working directly under a CFP. You get incredible mentorship, you learn way faster, and you knock out the requirement a full year sooner. Next up, E2, education. First thing you need is a bachelor's degree. But here's a huge misconception. It can be in anything. It doesn't matter if your degree is in history, art, English, whatever. What does matter is that you complete the official coursework required by the CFP board. And that's a deep dive into everything from tax planning to insurance to estates. So just to recap it quickly, bachelor's degree is a must. The coursework covers a ton of ground, and it's probably going to cost you somewhere between $3,000 and $6,000. Here's a pro tip though. Always ask your employer about reimbursement. About a third of firms will help you pay for some of it. So once your education's done, you've got to face E3, the exam. And let me tell you, this thing is a monster. It's a 6-hour, 170-question marathon. And it's not about memorization. It's designed to test if you can actually apply what you've learned to really complex, messy, real-world client situations. And the numbers here really tell the story. The pass rate usually hovers around 65%. Think about that. That means 1 out of every 3 people who takes this exam fails. The board recommends at least 250 hours of dedicated study time because, again, this isn't about flashcards. It's about problem solving under serious pressure. And finally, we have E4 Ethics. This is really the heart and soul of the whole certification. You'll have to take an ethics course, pass a pretty thorough background check, and most importantly, you have to swear an oath to uphold a fiduciary standard. And that's a legal promise to always put your client's best interests ahead of your own. So you did it. You navigated the 4 E's. You passed that beast of an exam. Congratulations, you're a CFP. But what happens now? Well, this is where our whole conversation comes full circle. Just keep this one thought in your head. Those letters are just the beginning. Yeah, getting the CFP certification is a huge accomplishment. It really is. But it's not the finish line. It's just the ticket that gets you into the game. Because, just like we said at the very beginning, your long-term success has very little to do with your exam score. It has everything to do with your ability to connect with people, to build trust, and to maintain those strong client relationships for years and years. The certification proves you have the technical chops. Your empathy and your communication skills, that's what will actually build your career. So, there you have it. The real story. The costs, the rewards, the different paths you can take, and the whole process. You have the roadmap. The only question left is, are you ready for the journey?